Today I'm over on good old Joanna and I'm giving Maria a hand with a bit of rust busting down at where the shrouds go into the chain plates. Every time when I come back from Joanna and I go back to Karl, it's kind of like everything becomes kind of jewelry size on Karl, because everything on Joanna is just like triple, quadruple the size that it is on Karl. So what I'm supposed to do, what I was told I'm supposed to do, is that first I smack the shit out of the metal with a chipping hammer, and then you brush it with a metal brush or with the brush on the grinder, and then we're gonna OSFO the whole thing with the metal brush dipped into OSFO, and then after that we're gonna put some coral seal on, so that's some kind of like etch primer, I suppose. In the meantime, it's raining metal because Maria's up in the mast chipping away on the mizzen. Oopsie! For some reason, working with steel is so much more raw than working with aluminum. I always feel like this crazy badass fighter when I work on Joanna. So the aim is to get the metal all nice and clear, so all the rust needs to be chipped off. And to me it's still a little hard to see when all the rusty bits are off because some of them are sticking pretty well, but Maria explained to me that if you can see that they're kind of like layered, like even if you hit them a little bit they won't fall off, but they're kind of like layered, so you need to make sure you get those little bits off too. Paul must have heard the lovely metal packing over on Yerba Buena because he came over to give us a hand. In total we rust busted 12 stays and shrouds down where they go into the chain plates, and we cleaned them thoroughly and covered them with the coral seal to prevent them from rusting again. And now they're ready for a couple of layers of primer and then some top coat, and they're as good as new. On the neighboring island, Isla del Rey, is a small village called San Miguel. Many of the inhabitants are fishermen, and some work on the island viveros where we are anchored at, and on the weekends, the family sometimes go out exploring in one of their lanchas. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas, nena? ¿Y tú? This Sunday they came by with a boatload of kids who filled Joanna with chit-chat and laughter, and who were eager to catch some fish and take my kayak for a spin. ¿Sabe quién encontró las perlas? La señora. ¿Buceando?
Así con la marea seca.
¿Con la marea seca? Ah, qué bueno.
Cuando la marea se seca, ¿cómo te queda?
Aquí hay suficiente agua. ¿Y dónde lo encontró?
Por aquí mismo. Están grabando en la orilla.
¿Ah, sí? ¿Y estaba en una concha grande? ¿Qué tamaño tenía?
Concha de ostra.
Ah.
Mira que le digo.
¿Y qué tamaño tenía la ostra? La concha. ¿Y cuánto cobra para las perlas?
Las perlas. ¿Cuánto la muchacha?
We bought the pearls of the ladies for $30, and after some hesitation, Luca finally made friends with the cute little pup, who I think Maria would not have minded keeping. We quickly snapped some pics and exchanged WhatsApp numbers before this jolly bunch of new friends departed again to drive home to San Miguel. Pues, hasta la próxima, amigos. Maria has another metal project for me today. It's a bit scary. She just said I should be in charge of it, like from beginning to end. So let's see what she has planned for me.
Alright, ready?
Not so sure.
What do you want, the first short explanation and then...
Yeah, just do the short video
Okay.
explanation and then the long what Nika really needs to know.
Okay, that's what I was figuring. So the first explanation being, unfortunately this area is just a companionway walk-in, but outside of it is where the helm station sits, and it has a piece of wood that sits right against the steel, up the top and below. So what ended up happening was, because the water couldn't make it through, it did what steel loves to do and ate itself away.
So that's the wood that usually sits in here, and Maria just showed me that you can tell, you know, this is where the wood usually sat, and that's where all the corrosion happened. And also, you know, around the whole line back there.
Now I have two supports that are for the steering station, so temporarily I just want to be able to fix this. Obviously the metal is not the greatest and I could cut it out and I could do everything, but we're time of Corona and not getting the metal and rush because I have to get off to work somewhere else. We're gonna do this for now. Well, Nika's gonna do this for now, and then you guys can take a look at her project afterwards.
Uh-oh. So what's our aim? We need to cover all of this with another piece of metal from the inside?
So basically we're gonna, this lovely piece of round steel.
I was gonna say what? So
Which was
cutting
this old
and...
porthole actually. I
No,
think.
seriously? This one?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But I just kept all the old steel. So at one point it was sitting outside, so it's a little funky, but it's okay because it's going to be inside. And so we're basically just going to cut out, we're going to salvage the heights that we can from this, since we want to cover this section. And then we're going to have it welded here. And then go outside if we can, and we'll just tack this, we'll break away some of this, cut this a little bit away, and then be able to weld it to the frame from outside.
Well, let's see if I'm up for that task.
With what we're working, I like to work with it being controlled with the turn and a down, so it doesn't go ring like up into my face. It sort of disappears underneath me.
Yeah. Well, you guys are gonna be happy because I'm wearing more safety equipment than probably I ever have done on any video so far. Gloves, glasses, and protective suit. Very sexy. And shoes. Check that out. Yay.
Some get hooked the day they're born.
Maria probably would have had this done in 2 minutes. It took me probably 10. But I still have all my fingers. Okay, got the piece. Second cut only took 7 minutes and 10 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. But it was faster. So, practice makes the master. Let's see if it fits.
I'm gonna run from love.
Now that we cut the beautiful piece of metal, gotta clean it.
And some are lost. Some keep their spirits.
Ready wants to come to aggression release camp?
Some pay the price and some only talk. But I've been feeling
Be our guest.
since the day I could walk. I'm gonna run from love. Yeah, I'm gonna run from love. Ain't nobody gonna get me to slow it down. I'm gonna run from love. Yeah.
So now I cut the metal and I cleaned the metal, and I also cleaned the area where I'm gonna weld the metal to. And now I'm gonna clean it with acetone, make sure put some markings on so I know where it's gonna go. And then Maria's gonna share her little secrets of welding with me. One of them being putting little magnets onto it, so you know, if you don't have anybody to hold the plate in place, then you can just put little magnets, so which is pretty cool. And then I think from what I understand is we're gonna like tack it in a couple of places so it stays on, and then once that's done, I'm gonna try and do some as pretty as I can welding.
Now it's time for you to play with fire, so to speak.
The first time Maria ever let me weld or taught me how to weld was upside down on her railing. Like seriously, like leaning over the railing and welding on the bottom of her pipes upside down. The second time she taught me how to weld was up in front inside her anchor locker. Tons of room.
Sounds like you're
So
making
this
long
is-
tails.
So this is, she says, mega improvement, and if I don't perform then I don't have anything to blame. So yeah, talking about pressure, right?
Let's get down to some more better current here. I am putting it at its highest voltage, and I'm putting the speed around 2. So we're going to adjust that as you go along, just to see exactly what you might need more. You'll have to start and figure that out, really. So you're going to start it, basically you're going to start with a tack. Oh, and first of all, we'll just put that over your face. Just see if your ground's working. No, just hold it up. Just hold it up. Alright. See if your ground's working. Yeah. You in the long term have to understand what's the most comfortable way for you to weld something decent. So, and it all is about being comfortable and angle of the rod versus the head of the welder. So you're either going to be like this. For me, if I'm sitting that way, I always end up leaning a little bit to the direction I'm working.
Okay.
First of all, just go ahead and you're going to penetrate this first, the standing piece, not this working piece.
Yeah.
Until it starts to heat up, and then start working your way to the other piece, and you'll just want to do these little kind of small little rotation.
Like just like 3 or 4,
mean,
just for the tacking.
Just try it. Just do it once for me, just to see how you're doing.
Okay.
What you'll feel if it's not right, and you're pressing the gun, it'll go ting 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 ting.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
If it's that means it'll be probably too fast, so we'll have to slow it down a touch for you, or you're doing it but it's like disappearing, obviously, then we've got
Then
to
it's
do the
too
opposite.
hot, yeah. And okay.
Yeah, keep going back and forth probably. Too close, stop. You're grounding out. Now come down to the metal. Good stop. Ow! Pucker.
This one is kinda alright. And that one is kinda alright.
Good ones though.
This one's kinda crappy. As we say in German, ich habe mich nicht mit Ruhm bekleckert. That's definitely not that great yet. We're getting into practice, and maybe tomorrow we'll have another go. See if it shows any improvement.
Holy fuck! Isn't it beautiful?
That is wicked good.
Wow, penetrated, perfect clean.
Isn't it nice?
Yep, it really is.